Welcome to Bourbon on the Water, where we match the fishing situation to the correct bourbon. I've got a guide today, a personal friend of mine. We grew up together, so we know each other. And we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on today, and the visuals are going to be spectacular. And let's talk about our situation today. It's a little cold. Not too cold, but it's cold enough. And it's raining. So right there, there's two reasons to drink right there. It's cold, it's raining. It's actually the afternoon, I think, right now as well. We're also fishing. So pretty
not
much...
to discourage drinking in the morning.
No, of course not. But there's another reason today. It's St. Patrick's Day. So, you know, we might abuse the limits a little bit today. It's amazing, I'm not doing any work at all. Yeah, Rob and I, we learned fly fishing together as kids. We were kids, went on fishing trips from the same fishing lineage. Let's talk about our bourbon today. So, it's a Kentucky distillery, but it has a distinction. It has a distinction. There's a master distiller at this distillery.
In Kentucky.
In Kentucky. And it's a woman. It's Pamela Heilman that is the master distiller at Michter's. She is the only female master distiller since Prohibition at a Kentucky distillery.
Oh, that's got to feel good on paint. Oh, that looks... Let's give it a try.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. Look like a healthy pour from here. Well, to old friends and big fish.
Cheers. I'm honored to be part of Bourbon on the Water.
You're my first guest.
Probably the first and last time I'll be invited. But
I'm fishing home cooking today. I'm a hack bamboo rod builder. I've built a couple hundred of these things. This one here, that's the first rod I've ever made. And I'll tell you something about bamboo rods, and especially ones you make. They're not cool unless you fish them. This is the first rod I've made, and you'd think, oh my God, you should be protecting it. No, it's not cool unless there's lure attached to it.
you know what? Keep it more down. This way you can swing it in front of its face and leave it there longer.
Let it sink, you mean, a little more?
Well, no. Fishing it directly below the boat, so the flies more or less, right now it's sweeping across the current. You're asking the fish to really move a lot.
I got you.
If it's kind of hanging down,
Suspended
below the boat, yeah, that kind of angle, we definitely want it to swing out some.
Yep.
But the fish isn't going to have to move much to grab it.
That one. You've seen my small craft in the last episode. I have that small 12-foot carbon fiber boat. I've lost 2 fly rods over that boat. Cane fly rods I made myself.
Oh no.
Yes, it's true. So my response to this was to buy really cheap fiberglass and carbon fiber blanks and build them as cheaply as I can. And those are now my boat rods. And that's because I can't have my heart broken again that way, you know? I'm fragile, okay? So...
Wait a minute. A minute ago you were saying that these rods are meant to be used, not put on a shelf.
They're meant...
Now I'm confused. Are you...
They're not... Well, they're meant to be used. They're not meant to be sank, though.
A little brush pile here, so we'll just keep them away from there.
It's a nice fish.
Slide right in. Come. Oh, a little help from a friend.
He almost had to swim in there for me, but let's get a picture of him and get him back in the water. That's beautiful. if someone hands you whiskey and you are either standing in or sitting over the water, you must drink it. And no words need to be exchanged. I guess it's not happening for me. Oh, that's great. So, Whiskey Rule 3 was actually designed for when you're in the backcountry over a period of time and your sentence is shortened and you really don't need to say much, okay? But if you're sitting over the water or standing in the water, and first of all, do the whiskey rules apply? Yes, we're in the Boneyard pool. No one can get here unless they hike for miles. We're in a boat. We're fishing. All the whiskey rules are available to us. We're going with a classic, Whiskey Rule 3. If someone hands you whiskey and you're sitting over the water or standing in the water, you have to drink it, and no words need to be exchanged. I want to talk about putting water in bourbon. Okay, I said on a video I would never do that. Well, I got a story, and I'm gonna tell you.
Fish is really moving around. And there are brook trout on this. That's a brownie.
It looks like a brown.
There we are.
Nice. Beautiful.
That's a holdover fish. Look at the colors.
So I'm down south, and it's hot. So I put a little ice cube in my bourbon. I don't usually do that. It was hot, so I did. And the cube melted on me fast. I didn't get a chance to chase the cube. You know when you chase the cube, you try to drink your bourbon before it melts, okay? Didn't happen for me. So I had to drink it the way it was. And I'm talking about the Old Forester 1920. It's 115 proof. There's a lot to it.
Something you want to sip.
Something you want to sip for sure. Anyway, I drank it with the water in it, and the flavor trail was longer. There was more. I guess the real bourbon guys would say I opened it up. Whatever, it worked. And there are some bourbons now, like the 1920 and the 1910, which I love, that I will put a splash of water in, and it does make it better. I am not adding water to most bourbons, and I'm not adding water to the Michters today. It's delicious. Well, bourbon on the water. We are still drinking bourbon, and we're still on the water. We're a couple fish deep here. I've been lucky to get a few with the advice of my guide today. And the bourbon's been great. Where's that bottle? Rob sent something to me while we were talking this morning about whiskey. He kind of indicated that you can drink more of it if you drink a tiny bit at a time. And this is true. If you're sipping whiskey, there's a couple things that happen. First, you taste more. And if I was going to give you bourbon on the water homework, I would say pour a little bourbon, a tiny bit in a glass, and slowly drink it. And taste the flavors. Then have a cracker, okay? And then do a shot. And you'll notice, no, it's true. You'll notice you'll catch more flavor off that little sip than you will the shot. So that's the strategy. You enjoy it more. You drink a little bit at a time, and that bottle, it goes down. You don't have to worry about the bottle. You're going to take care of it, drinking it a little at a time, and it's going to be better for you.
And you'll get less tangle.
Yeah. Every time he tells me to fish, I tangle. That seems to be the protocol. Okay, so I did not give this bottle enough descriptive attention when we were on the boat, but I did pay them the ultimate compliment. We almost finished the bottle. We didn't plan to. There was none of that going on. It just was good. You know, this one that goes in at a low proof, goes into the barrels at a low proof, gets those sugars. I've noticed every one that goes in with a low proof really has a distinct charred oak. And this has it. It's a really obvious charred oak. It's really nice finish. And up to that, the flavor's spot on. I crave this sometime. The fishing was hard. Rob was telling me there's still seep coming in from the frozen ground into the rivers, and the fish are still in winter mode. So, you know, it was tough to move them. We moved a few. They're pretty. Those were little ones for that river. But I was happy. I had a great day. It was pretty obvious we were having fun. Look at the sun passing through this, right? It's beautiful. Bourbon on the water. Things are going well here.